He portals, he's pink, and he helps unlock the mysteries of Steven's past. Though he has garbage taste in novelty ice cream pops, he's a loyal friend who's been through a lot in his 200+ years on this earth. Today, we're gonna put the spotlight on him. What's up, guys? I'm Kris Carr, and today I'm talking to you about Pink Lion from Steven Universe. Before we dive in, I want to thank all of our supporters on Patreon, especially our super nerd sponsor of the day, Zachary Turner. Thanks to heroes like Zachary, we get to keep talking about space rocks and their pals. So thank you guys so much. Me, Whitney, Brett, and Song really appreciate all your support. If you want to pitch in, head on over to our Patreon page and see if there's a donation tier that works for you. We'll thank you with shout-outs, patches, and behind-the-scenes looks at what we're doing. If you're looking for some Steven Universe merch, click the link to TeePublic in this video's description. They have awesome Steven shirts that you can choose from. All right, on to Pink Lion.
Yay, Lion! Wink!
Thanks to the episode Buddy's Book, we get some much-needed backstory on Lion. While Connie and Steven are reading the journal of explorer Buddy Budwitch, they learn that Buddy met Rose, who just happened to be hanging out with a pack of lions in the desert at the time. Shock of all shocks, Rose kept those lions a secret from the crystal gems because Rose. Tell your SO if you have a pet, y'all, especially if it's a big cat. Rose out there living a double life as Carol Baskins. Thanks to what happened to Lars later in the series, we can piece together how Lion is still alive to meet Steven hundreds of years after this documented encounter with Buddy, and how his pink metamorphosis came about. Lars became a rosy hue and developed the capacity to portal people through his noggin after Steven brought him back from the dead with his healing powers. So it stands to reason that since Lion has the same coloring and power, Lion met a similarly ghastly fate, and Rose used her healing powers on him. After Rose gave up her form for Steven, Lion roamed the desert by himself, so we can add animal abandonment to the list of pretty tacky crap Rose has done. When the crystal gems and Steven travel to the desert, Lion approaches Steven and immediately takes to him, allowing Steven to pet him and to climb on him. Lion follows them home, lets out that roar for the first time, and appears more interested in that desert gem they collected than hanging out with his new bud Steven. However, Lion proves he does care for Steven by protecting him when things go pear-shaped thanks to that desert glass. This will mark Lion coming in and out of the beach house, as well as Steven's life, since Lion seems to like to do his own thing.
You have a pet lion? Lion is sort of like a pet. He does his own thing most of the time, though.
Lion will make some other appearances, like showing up for Amethyst's birthday, or lounging beneath the beach house. But it isn't until Lion 2, the movie, that we actually learn more about Lion. Steven and Connie learn that their beastly bud can walk on water. This only furthers the resurrection notion, since the story most often associated with walking on water was performed by someone recently risen from the dead. Believe that dude wandered in the desert alone too. Also, it makes you think of Aslan from Chronicles of Narnia, right? I mean, that guy was steeped in Christ imagery and also rose from the dead. Anyway, in addition to walking on water, he can also create portals with his roar. I got nothing for symbolism on portals, y'all. Literally an opening to another place and possibility. I feel like that's enough said. Apparently, after resurrecting Lion, Rose decided to store some personal items inside his Hammerspace main, like her tape for Steven, her chest, and bismuth. It seems that Rose entrusted Lion to reveal information about herself to Steven when the time was right.
This is weird, right? You have a sword in your head? Why don't you tell me you can do these things you do?
In Lion 3, straight to video, when Steven says he wants to know more about his mother, Lion starts acting really strange. He keeps trying to wake Steven up and push Steven into his main. This is how Steven will enter the pocket dimension and find Rose's videotape that she made for him. Lion comes through again for Steven when Steven begins to question his magical destiny. Lion coughs up the key to Rose's landfill, takes him there, and helps him find the tape labeled for Nora. Lion then takes Steven to Greg to explain it. Lion's like Steven's spiritual guide through all of his mama drama, taking him to where he needs to be and who he needs to talk to find the answers he seeks about Rose. In addition to this sort of guidance, Lion has some awesome powers. As I've mentioned, Lion is a portal conduit. Much like Pearl or Larimar, Lion can access a pocket dimension and store items within it.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
He also has a mighty roar that can make structures topple, and is even strong enough to make a gem to be reckoned with, like Blue Diamond, lose their footing. His roar can also open pink portals connecting two areas to one another, making for quick travel. This well-documented ability that Steven used with relative frequency while hanging out with Connie is why many of us were scratching our heads about Steven's freakout regarding her going to college far away. Portal there, bro. It's fine. If Lion can take you to the moon, he can take you to the University of Jayhawk. Lion also possesses enhanced stamina. He can keep pace with the Universe van all day with riders and can leap long distances. Portaling and carrying multiple beings within his pocket dimension, however, does wear him out. The further the portal, the more tuckered out our kitty gets.
Whoa! Thanks, Lion. That super warp takes a lot out of you, huh?
I think one of my favorite things about Lion is the relationship he develops with Connie. When Steven is off in space with Lars, Connie and Lion are left behind on Earth. When Steven returns to Earth via Lars's head and Outlion's mane, Steven isn't met with the welcome he expected from his two friends. The two of them are extremely hurt that Steven surrendered himself and left them behind. Lion even stays with Connie while she and Steven are on the outs. Presumably because he too feels like he was taken for granted and that his feelings weren't considered either.
You don't get it.
Get what?
Let's go, Lion.
And Lion is definitely the friend Steven should have turned to for advice on how to reconcile with Connie. When Steven actively ignores Connie per that douche nozzle Kevin's advice to manipulate her, Lion shoots daggers from his eyes at Steven. I love this overgrown cat choosing to care for Connie and wanting Steven to wise up on how to treat her. We also have to talk about the bond that he and Lars now share. Both have been resurrected through Rose Pink Steven's power. It's evident that Lion recognizes this bond when he snuggles up to Lars when he comes back to Earth. I'm wondering, what does this mean for these two? Like the gems, are they essentially immortal now? They feel no pain, no need to eat. Will they live forever? An interesting theory is that their lifespans have simply been elongated, and they're aging at a slower pace. In the pocket dimension, both portals to Lars and Lion are represented by trees. Lion's tree has less leaves on it, while Lars's is new and lush. Could these leaves be indicative of the time Lion and Lars have left? Sort of a Beauty and the Beast notion that when the last petal, or leaf in this case, falls, their time will be up? I could be looking way too into this. The leaf patterns could simply be a reflection on the characters they're linked to. Lion appears to have a thorn tree, a type of tree found in the savannah, and Lars's tree looks like a Nara tree, the national tree of the Philippines, a nod to Lars's Filipino heritage. If these two characters are immortal, though, how will they deal with that? As beings that were born with the understanding that one day they would die, how will they process the death of those around them? Lion's face seems to be expressing a lot of sadness when he revisits the desert.
This is where we found you.
Is he merely reminiscing about his time with Rose? Did he die in a gruesome way that he's remembering? Or perhaps he's sad that he's the last of his pride. I'd be really interested to take a look further into the future of the Steven Universe and see if Lars and Lion bond over their shared situation, as Lars experiences the loss of his human loved ones. Now, when I talk about the gems and spotlight them, I usually talk about their real-life gem components to see if there's any basis for their powers or their character traits. Obviously, real-life lions don't portal jump and should not be dyed pink. But I thought it'd be interesting to look at lions from an animal totem perspective. Lions typically represent strength and personal power. Lions in dreams can be pointing you to a difficult situation in your life and try to bestow their courage upon you as you face the issue. They can also represent an authority that can feel overpowering or in conflict with your own sense of power, something that dominates or rules over your life. This definitely could tie into Pink Lion serving as Steven's guide through learning more about his mother, who is a towering shadow over Steven's own life.
She keeps leaving me puzzle pieces. Sooner or later, I'm going to understand what I'm for.
First is Rose, this iconic rebellion leader he's trying to live up to. Then is Pink, a gem who did countless questionable, often awful acts. Lion being beside him as he unlocked secrets regarding his mother fits in with Steven not allowing Rose to control who he is or who he becomes. Or hey, maybe Rebecca just wanted to put in a reference to her own house cat, who's also named Lion.
Lion.
Of course, guys, this is just what I think of when I think of Pink Lion. The question is, what do you guys think of this character? Be sure to hit me with your hot takes in the comments below. Definitely let me know what other Steven Universe content you want too, guys, and what shows you're watching, because I've just been watching Steven Universe on a loop for like 3 years now. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and hit the bell so we can keep talking tunes together. Thanks again to TeePublic, to all of our supporters on Patreon, especially Zachary, and to all of you amazing Steven Universe fans who found us. For more videos, click to the left. Thanks for watching. See you, Space Cowboy.